Knowledge Adventure. Have fun. Get smart.
Rocky54167 here. Back with the last 3 parts of my 3rd year of being on YouTube. And well, we're starting off then with the last disc. Starting the first game on the last disc. Its introduction would be that this would be the only knowledge adventure game from the adventure series that was based on a movie. IMAX's Speed, which was originally made in 1982, 83, 84, somewhere around then. 1994 was made into a knowledge adventure game. Now this had 2 Zoomscape activities, 2 reference centers, and a bunch of simulations. Because of all the hard legislation going down, I cut out the preview because I did that in the sample video. But in this video, there will be no preview. And then you should know the order of the rest. I filmed these 2 consecutively. This one will either be shot tomorrow or Friday, with it being up on Friday night. So let's dive into the third last game, IMAX's Speed. Alright, you guys all know the drill. We're starting off in DOSBox, the head screen. Now I remember back in 09 when we had DOSBox 0.72, and you had about 3 things of settings, but now one setting I guess matches them all. I haven't experimented with other sound cards other than Sound Blaster. But to get on with the thing, now I think IMAX's Speed and Undersea Adventure were one of the later games made before Aviation Adventure, which is the only adventure game series I have found that was legitimately just made for Windows. These games both require a 486 processor, which is recommended, but will run on a 386 processor, which DOSBox emulates. But I have read reports over the internet that the original versions would not run on a 286 processor, where 3D Dinosaur Adventure and below were all 4.
Welcome to the main menu of navigation.
Now, IMAX's Speed is the only game out of the Adventure series that is based on a movie. It is based on McGillivray's, either it was an 82 or 83 game. I think I said this in the pre-stuff, but the intro was actually pretty cool, and it lags up a bit, but here's the intro. Right there is where it lags up, but it's a pretty cool intro. And it's very kind of small on the screen, which I didn't notice when I was a kid, but I guess because it's small. Now, the preview, I do not know if it's copyrighted or not. And with all that SOFA stuff going down, which I do believe I read today it was destroyed, I'm only just going to show the Knowledge Adventure clip in it, because I do not want my YouTube channel to be taken down. So that is the only clip you're going to see from the preview.
Proudly presents Speed.
Alright, so now you really only have about 4 options to choose from. You can either watch, I've never watched the movie the entire way through. I don't even know if that's actually the entire movie. If it is, then I don't know how they compressed it down onto a disc back then. You can stop, and right here you can click on these things and it'll take you to something, like the please wait. And we go to the reference center number 1, which has no music, but it has narration, whereas the other one has music playing through the entire thing.
If one can call any snail fast, is the garden snail. 2 feet is the snail's racing equivalent of a 4-minute mile. A garden snail once...
Now this reference center right here is a bit boring. You can't click on either end of it expecting it to go to the fastest and then to the slowest. You have to manually click the arrow all the way to the end, which can be boring. It does, however, come with a help thing for the reference center, and you can go wherever you want to. Like, we're going to the gears. We're returning to the movie. We're heading right back there. I don't know why I did that, but we go back to hurricanes.
Whirling cyclonic storms develop most often in tropical waters.
Now, the hurricanes, a lot of the, if you studied the reference section, then the reading game should be easy to you if you were a kid, because it gives you a lot of fun facts. But that's one of the things about Speed was it was kind of a lot like Kids Zoo. It didn't have that much information in it, but it had enough to grab the kids' attention. Like, it's on the Kids Zoo borderline of not having like information like 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Now the reference section screen you see here is the typical reference center screen, or section center, whatever you want to call it, screen. In any knowledge adventure game, you have the globe, you have the text, you have the picture, except you cannot make it full screen. And the difference with this reference center is that you can go to the game section and to the simulation.
Though tortoises may not really be faster,
you can click on the
hares,
globe. You can also,
they certainly live longer.
It's like undersea adventure here. You can click on the left side of the arrow and go all the way back, and you can see space.
They can grow to over 4 feet in length, weigh in at over
I really do
500
personally believe this
pounds,
game was
and
released
live for more than 150
in later '94 compared to the other games, which I think were released earlier. Right there is the help. And it tells you everything you can click on. You see, you can go all the way back to the Milky Way. If you not click on it, it won't allow you the option to click on it. But I'm going to return to the movie now, and now we're going to go to simulation. And then go to the better reference center in the game, the one that's not as boring as that one.
Speed Raceway.
Now, there was a game like there was a simulation like this in Space Adventure. You have 3 things to choose from. This has not been requested to be put up on YouTube. If you do want it up on YouTube, let me know. It's going to take a while, but it shows what the fastest things are. It shows that our brain or our thoughts only go at 2,070 miles per hour compared to the Apollo spacecraft, which surprises me that the Apollo spacecraft was that fast. That actually times it. I started showing the other one, but I didn't want to waste a lot of time, like I said. It just amazes me that the Apollo spacecraft was that fast compared to the space shuttle. And even in the reference center it says that. So now we go to the human speed. Now this is a simulation of a human running on a track field, and now the 3D graphics here are kind of flawed and pixelated, unfortunately. But once again, unlike Donkey Kong Country, which Link Samus Mario requested me to put the other 2 games, I think after looking at screenshots of them, regardless, I've not played those games in a while. That's why I bring up Donkey Kong Country. I think the graphics here in this and the roller coaster are a bit lagging compared to the other games, but still good. Going on the roller coaster, and I like how the roller coaster copyrights Knowledge Adventure. Well, actually, Knowledge Adventure I don't even think owns copyright to these games anymore, but we'll get to that. And there's speed gauges there that tell you how fast it goes, and you hear people screaming. It sounds like you're on an actual roller coaster, which is really cool about it. We even go upside down on it, and I think the graphics here are better than the running one. But still, I think these ones can actually be compared to 3D Dinosaur Adventures, but you could tell the screen was really shrank for this, and I don't know why. Now we go to the Extended Learning Module, which is the other reference center. The only way to get to the one with the picture was through the movie. But this one right here is actually kind of cool because it gives you a couple of projects to do. No one narrates these, but you have wind power, you have steam power, you have airspeed, feeling speed, and then back to wind power. Alright, so then after the wind power, I decided I was going to show you guys a picture from Undersea Adventure, the Blue Shark, which clocks in at about 43 miles per hour, 69 kilometers per hour. And this picture was in Undersea Adventure, and it was on the disc that was a picture of the shark in the lower corner in the Undersea section of the Packard Bell disc. Now, right here, the one thing I am just going to point out is that
become more active.
The blue shark, for some reason, in both his games, looked really menacing as a kid, but years later, I always wanted to see what a blue shark looked like, how big it really was. And I don't even think they're bigger than a human. But I'll explain more of that in Undersea Adventure. Here we are on the sailfish, which clocks in at about 63 miles per hour, 101 kilometers per hour. Wow. Now, I originally, for some reason, think this photo was originally supposed to be a part of Undersea Adventure. I could be wrong, but I do remember seeing this in the Windows version. And it could even be in the OEM DOS version of the game, so I'm probably wrong. Or I probably am right, is what I mean. Now, if you noticed, you don't have the option to repeat text in this. Now, this one, I also do believe, too, was supposed to be an Undersea Adventure. The blue whale, there's another picture for it instead. That's not this cartoon you see here. But the blue whale is about 20, according to the text, is about 25 miles per hour. And, hold on, the screen's blurry. Like I said, I record this after the voiceover, after I record the actual video, and Sony Vegas is fighting with me.
Despite its size, the blue whale.
I can't read what the kilometer. Now I can. It's 40 kilometers per hour, and
3 to 10 miles per
just
hour.
gonna tell you, if I don't say the speed of it, you can read it on the video while editing it. Now the porpoise
With a long evolutionary
is
history, the porpoise is
this is
descended from
another
a dog-like
picture I think
animal
was
that
supposed to be an
once
Undersea
walked on
Adventure
land.
for some reason.
Differing from
I could be
dolphins,
wrong
principally in the
because,
shape of their head, dolphins have a
well,
much more pronounced
I'm just
snout.
basing these
The
games
fastest
knowledge
porpoise is
off
the dog
the
porpoise.
versions I already own,
These porpoises
which I
frequently
will
serve
explain
on the
something at the
bow
end of
wakes
this
of
video
boats,
that I am
racing
purchasing
along
finally
30 miles
2
per
other
hour.
knowledge adventure games. Now from here we're going on to trains, something that used to fascinate me as a kid. Trains, according to this, the speed I can make out, and I might be wrong, is 320 miles per hour,
In 1829,
512
departing
kilometers
from
per
Liverpool,
hour.
England,
And it's showing,
rocket
that's not the bullet
chugged
train
down
from
the
Japan. I
rails
know
at
this was in one of my train
incredible
videos as a kid. I believe that's in
29
France.
miles per hour.
Speed train. If anyone knows anything about it, please correct
the
me.
Japanese bullet trains averaged speeds in excess
But I'm
of
almost
100
positive
miles
that is
per
a
hour.
French train.
Nowadays, trains can achieve peak speeds of 180 miles per hour and beyond. Le Train à Grande Vitesse, the very fastest passenger train in service,
Sorry,
runs
that's
from
my phone
Paris
going
to Le
off.
Mans, and if the length of straight track was long enough, could sustain its maximum record-breaking speed of 320 miles per hour.
Alright, now we go to the space shuttle. In this picture, I do remember seeing it in Space Adventure.
NASA's reusable spacecraft first blazed into orbit in 1981. Once in orbit, the shuttle is controlled by small thrusters. In the atmosphere, the shuttle is a 200-ton
the space
rider,
shuttle,
which
I figured it had to go fast to escape Earth's atmosphere, but I never pictured it going at 16,000 miles per hour. I wonder if that's even accurate, but then again, Knowledge Adventure did have all the facts, so they probably are right, but then again, I don't know. This is a 1994 game, let's bear that in mind.
The astronauts aboard cruise along at a cool 16,000 miles per hour.
Now, this is a thing that surprises me, is Apollo X or 10 can go at about, hold on, if I can get this on blurry for about 2 seconds, and
The astronauts aboard Apollo 10 got to execute almost all phases of the lunar landing. Almost.
it's 24 something miles. You can read it. I don't need to read it to you.
Their mission called
But
for
that was
them
another
to
photo
board
from
the lunar
Space Adventure.
excursion
I don't know why
module,
the screen keeps
descend
on
to
going
within
blurry.
50,000
I've tried
feet of the
fighting with
surface,
it, but
and then to
I'm not
return
going
to
to fight
the
with
Earth.
it. But
Since there is no
back
gravity
to the
in
review.
space, the
Yeah, I mean,
astronauts
the
had no physical
both
sense
reference
of the fact
centers
that they
tell
were
you what's the
cruising through the
fastest.
heavens
There's not a lot
at
of facts here, but it does have enough to grab you. I think a bit better than Kid Zoo did. And now we're going back to the simulation screen. In return, we're going back to the movie screen. We're now going to go to the game. The please wait sign. First game is the speed matching game, which plays the music from the skeleton movie,
the
A 3D
antelope,
Body Adventure.
The alligator.
Alright, I'm going to cut this part out. Hold on.
48 miles
Let me
per
get this
hour.
up and running. Alright, now this part, you're supposed to, now in this game, you're supposed to go with which
The jet dragster.
thing goes faster.
The
And this one,
catamaran,
it's obviously
the Falcon,
the
the
speedboat.
roller coaster.
And then
Whose top
it's
speed
if
is
you saw on the reference
304
page,
miles per hour.
excuse me, if you saw on the reference page and
Quite.
studied
Try another choice.
which goes fastest, then this will be
Yes,
easier for you.
The jet dragster can blaze
But
along
also
at
too, common sense
304
comes into
miles
play.
per
Like
hour.
right here, it shows the car. If it had a car, a bird, a dog, and a human,
The Concorde.
obviously
The
if
train,
the dog
the
can run at
jumbo
304
jet,
miles per hour, you
the
have money
racing
there.
car.
But it's obviously going to be
Whose
the car
top
because this was
speed is
1994.
602 miles per hour.
Now this one was the car
Try
too.
again.
The Kmart car. Or,
quite.
no, it wasn't the
Try
Kmart
another
car. I don't
choice.
remember which one this was. We'll find out in a
porpoise.
second.
The alligator. The wind surfer.
Nope, it
The
was the
Greyhound.
jumbo jet.
Whose top speed
Or maybe it
is
was the car. I
15
don't know.
miles
You guys
per
can
hour.
hear. Like I said, I shoot these videos and then I record over them muted. Now, 15 miles per hour. Like I said, you can use common sense if you know about speed.
Try again.
It can be
Correct.
real simple and it
The
can also be
alligator
really
has a top
hard.
speed of 15
This game
miles
has a
per
lot of
hour.
similarities between the
The
3D Dinosaur
SR-71A,
Adventure game, the
the
Dinosaur
Jumbo
Safari,
Jet,
and I can't
the
think of what the
Concorde,
one in Undersea
The
Adventure was
space
called.
shuttle. Whose top speed is 1,450 miles per hour.
The one that can go 1,450 miles per hour was the Concorde. Now, I think I was looking up something where I got called to do something real quick when I shot this, but I had to actually re-record this vocal track from this game on because of the fact that the Audacity froze up on me. For what
Try
reason?
again.
I don't know. But in a
Keep
second or
looking.
two, the thing's going to move.
Right again. The
I think this
supersonic
was my
Concorde
least
can
favorite
reach
activity in speed. I like the
1,450
speed
miles per
reading
hour.
and the amazing speed activity where you actually got to run a race by going with which animal was the fastest.
The Greyhound, the Porpoise, the roller coaster, the wind surfer, whose top speed is 80 miles per hour.
Right here is where I clicked the return to the menu beforehand button, which is also the return to movie, which is kind of funny because this is the only game in the adventure series we have to click twice to go back to something.
Listen up.
I like how in this
You're in
game,
the
in 3D
halls
Body
of
Adventure,
speed.
the please
Clock's
wait sign
ticking,
goes different
time's
colors, but
moving.
now here,
The object of the game
you're
is
in
to
the
learn
halls
to
of
read
speed.
and
You have to
retain
move
as quickly
quick.
and
You have to
efficiently
answer
as
the
is humanly
questions as
possible.
fast as
Move
humanly
forward by pushing your
possible.
mouse.
It
Stop
always
when the
tells you to
writing
push your
appears.
mouse forward, but I think
Read
it's
it,
more efficient to
learn
push the
it,
arrows on the
then click your mouse to
keyboard in
make
the
it go
Zoomscape
away.
activities. Now, the special effects here, or the graphics, I mean, are pretty cool. I mean, they're not as spectacular as anything from 3D Dinosaur Adventure,
Now twice
but
more.
it is really
After
cool.
you finish the three sets
I
of
mean, a
speed
lot of the
facts,
backgrounds
you'll
came
run
from
smack
Undersea
dab into a
Adventure
question.
and
Read and
the
click.
3D Dinosaur
Move
Adventure,
forward
Save the
until you hit the
Dinosaur blocks
answers.
around here.
Then pick the
from
right one and
Yeah,
click
from
the
Save
box
the
away.
Dinosaurs. And it gives you a couple effects on the way, and then it'll give you sound effects with the facts to make it more interesting. Then right before you walk into the room, it'll give you a question
Drive
you have to
forward
answer
into
it.
the room of decision.
And
At the left side of the room,
if you answer
is
it
the
correctly,
return to
you'll
movie
go
button.
on in the room of decision. If you answer it wrong, you'll be sent
Great!
back, and it
You
sounds
made it
like
to
you
level
killed
2.
somebody, which I don't know what
With
the
each
dramatics
new
of that
level,
effect were.
You'll notice that the
These aren't the
walls of
stone
halls
walls
of
from 3D
speed have
Dinosaur
changed.
Adventure right here.
If you
It
miss
was
the
later
question,
on.
you'll
I
have to
posted
repeat
this
the
on
question.
YouTube. The sound effects in this game range from 3D Body. I believe there was a couple no, there was none from Kid Zoo. There was definitely a couple from 3D Dinosaur Adventure and Undersea Adventure. And I put this entire activity up on YouTube, so you can definitely hear it. And right here, it's telling some freaky information about the cockroach. You know, one of the coolest things about all these Zoomscape activities, except the 3D Body Adventure, which didn't have this,
Remember,
is the
return to movie button
sky.
on the
Look
left
at
can
it.
get
It's
you out.
clear blue. It looks like
But
an
go
actual
on.
sky. I mean, I've always wanted to jump out of this and see it was up there instead of being
Level
confined in
3.
this.
Good going.
Now I know the only way to be able to do that is through hacking. Right here is one of the backgrounds from Undersea Adventure in the main Zoomscape. thing in the aquarium in the treasure hunt. The aquarium, it changes to many different ones, and quite ironically, we start off with the blue shark. Now, one of these, now I don't understand, but only one of the answers is B. It would have made the game a heck of a lot easier if most of them were B. No, most of them in all actuality are A or C, and I know I get this one wrong. Like I said, I don't get the point of getting them wrong just to have the thing scream at you. I mean, it's kind of like, can't you just say, oops, try again? Instead, it sounds like you killed somebody. I mean, isn't that the type of dramatics you want in 3D body adventure?
Yes, that's right. Faster.
Oh, this one was C. Right there was the only B one, and this is the one I cut out in. I think at this point I had shown half of it, and I didn't want to show it again, or show anymore, because I already had this up on YouTube, trying to replicate the original sample. Now, just a fun fact here was, all of you guys remember the unpopular reviews I did with the Microsoft Sam voice, which I never understood why that was so unpopular when I see Microsoft Sam was used in so many other YouTube videos. When at the time I did have a mic.
Good work.
But
Keep going.
I eventually decided to redo the reviews with me actually talking instead of Microsoft Sam. This background was an undersea adventure right here. And I was wrong, the last one wasn't the one where I gave up. I think this was the one where I stopped. The only reason why I showed half of them in the sample video and the review is mainly because I always wanted to get requests to put up the entire thing. I just wanted to leave it to say, you remember this game? I wanted to make the video short and simple to the point. Of course, now we can make YouTube videos over 30 minutes long, and the majority of the users will stay there if they like the video. There's the exit, the zoomscape.
In case you haven't noticed, the
now we're going to
clock
go into
is
the
ticking.
amazing speed
Use your
activity, and
mouse
this
to
was my
drive through the
favorite
maze.
activity in Space
When you
Adventure.
get to the pairs of animals,
You basically
mark,
had to go with
set,
which animal was the
go with
fastest,
the
and you were running in a
fastest.
race to try and get it done as fast as you can. Now, in part one, it was easy, because if you turned either way, you could see the other animals, and you could see which way you were going wrong. Like the snake, for example, going faster than the snail. The guy would
Way
have
to
told you
go.
that the snake was faster.
that's right. Now you've got the hang
I
of
know
it.
one of them definitely compares the classic story, the hare and the turtle, or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, where the turtle beat the hare because it didn't go so fast, or the hare had to take a nap.
Good choice.
The first part is
Keep
real
going.
simple.
You're doing
You basically
really
got to
well.
go with which one leads the right way. And then towards the end of part one, it gives you a taste of part two, which
Pretty
isn't this
fishy that
easy.
the fish is
It
faster.
doesn't show you where the which one is the faster by showing you the new area. Instead, you have to guess. And my only advice for that is look both ways. The one that looks like it's
Don't let
going
him
away
get
from the
you.
maze, that's the wrong way. Right here with the red arrow when that lion growled at me is a kid that kind of freaked me out. When I first had the game, I had no sound in this area whatsoever.
Hurry up.
'Cause
Bound
like
away.
I've said, I didn't have sound effects when my uncle first installed these on the 95. But once he finally did, after a
Keep
year, it just
going.
kind of scared
You're
me
doing
for a
really
while
well.
when I was a kid. And then afterwards, after about, or not a year, it was a year after I got the game that he put the full sound effects. And then it was about a month afterwards it scared me, but then after that I rose to the challenge and listened to the narrator, because it definitely made these games a lot more fun. Right here is the blue shark picture from Undersea Adventure, and surprisingly,
Terrific.
the blue shark is faster than the porpoise. This one isn't
Close
surprising.
one. Keep going.
Yeah, we're nearing the end of part one.
Yes.
Of,
Fly away fast.
The amazing speed. And like I said, right here, look for not all the paths are going to be like this. Look for the path that seems to be leading towards
That's right. Hurry up.
the
Get
maze.
out of the
Like,
rain.
if it goes in the direction you just came from, then that's obviously the wrong path. Like right there is
That's
an
great.
example. And right
You
here,
made it through part one.
you can tell it's going towards something instead of that way, which you can tell is going
Well
right towards
done.
where you just came
the
from.
object of part two
Right,
is the
right
same
there's
as
the end of part one. I have both
Speed.
parts up
The faster,
together,
the better.
'cause it was under
Follow
9
the direction
minutes
of the fastest machines
at
you
the time
encounter.
back in
The
2009.
timer's still running. So away
Click
you
on
go.
that, and then we're going to head back to the main page. Turn to the movie button. Now, return to the movie button. Now, right here, I accidentally clicked on the wrong one. And, I just wanted to show a couple of more parts in the other reference center. I don't know why. I just felt that I didn't get to, go over the other reference center that well. This is the slowest thing on land. I think I was trying to show what the fastest was. But like I said, it won't let you go to the fastest. And there's the hydroplane, which tells kind of a tragic story of some guy who set the record and then his thing crashed and they never found his body.
The voice transmission from Donald Campbell's intercom. 297 miles per hour! He then hit a swell. The boat began to somersault, the hull disintegrating in a rush of water. When the spray subsided and the rescue crew reached the floating debris, Campbell's body was nowhere to be found. The record stood until 1977, when Kenneth Peter Warby set the current speed record on water, 345 miles per hour.
Alright, I'll edit that out. There's a jumbo jet. I tried going to the fastest one, but you had to go through every single one. I didn't feel like doing that, so I finally just said, let's return to movie and let's end the review. Now, I do not go back to Windows, but I end this like the original promo videos were back in 2009. So if you can guess, we end on space, or we end there and we go into Space Adventure. Now it's time to do the grades. Okay, so now for a couple of final thoughts. The game was the only knowledge adventure game that I encountered MS-DOS wise that was based on a movie. It was really cool. I mean, the amazing speed thing I think is what a lot of people remember from this game. Same thing with the speed reading. Other than that, there really wasn't much to do here other than watch the simulations, read the reference center, and play the matching, or not the matching game, the speed of a machine, human or animal. I mean, it did its job. It was fun. Definitely not as great as 3D Dinosaur Adventure, but it is up there in my favorite knowledge adventure games while growing up as a kid. So now with that said, to go down to the basics, let's go now to 1994. If this was 1994, the graphics of the game, I would only give them an 8 out of 10, because if you think of it, the Zoomscape was pretty cool, but there was no 3D objects, and at the same time, it was using real images, which were a bit pixelated, and I think this game would have had a heck of a lot more if it didn't have an entire movie on it. So, 8 out of 10, definitely for the real images. Alright, I don't need to explain this one. It's the same as all the other reviews. These games are tricky to install through DOS, and they're easy if you went to the Windows shell. And if you're wondering why I say they're a bit tricky to install through DOS, that is because, like I said, for 5 years old, you're not going to know the DOS commands as well as your parents have. So, 10 out of 10 for Windows installation, 6 out of 10 for DOS installation. Now, to be honest, there really was no music in this game other than 2 real Hamilton Allstott songs, and that was in the extended learning module and the matching game. Other than that, there was just mainly sound effects, so I don't really know if I can give an accurate music grade because I don't think the music's making an impact on the game at all. I mean, think of it, when you put an entire movie on the game, what else do you have left? So I'm definitely going to give the music a 7 out of 10. I'd like to give it a higher grade, but once again, there really is no music in the game. Sound effects, on the other hand, I can give a higher grade to. Ease of use would be 10 out of 10. This definitely is one of the more easier games. In fact, I'd give it an 11 out of 10 if I thought it was that much more, but I thought a 10 out of 10 was more appropriate. Now, the sound effects, I think, is what totally made this game. Where the other games, it was the music, but this game, it was definitely the sound effects. I mean, wow, I mean, they're really effective. I mean, they make you want to go faster in the amazing speed and in the speed reading. The only sound effect I didn't think was appropriate was the human screaming. If not, this would have actually earned an 11 out of 10. So this gets just a 10 out of 10. Alright, now, the educational value of this game, if it was 1994, could have used a bit more facts about speed and could have explained what speed was instead of just what machines and animals went the fastest. But, however, it did definitely, it grab your interest. and that's why it gets a 10 out of 10. But the educational value in the current year, 2012, I'm sorry to say it only gets a 7 out of 10 because I'm pretty sure that there are quite faster stuff now today, and the game, if it would have had a bit more in detail, I would definitely have given it an 8 out of 10, but it more or less, because of the less amount of data, is a 7 out of 10. But then again, when you put an entire movie on a CD, I could see why it doesn't include a lot of information. Replay value for this game definitely would get a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's fun. I mean, the Amazing Speed game makes you want to come back more and more if you were a kid. So a 10 out of 10. Alright, graphics in the current year, 2012. I don't really know, like I said, graphics and music in this game kind of lagged because there was an entire movie on the disc. Can't really blame the graphics because it wasn't their fault that this was going to be an interactive movie. And I'm positive the OEM version probably had more activities to do, which I hope to hear from someone on the OEM version. But I would have to give the graphics now for the Zoomscape. They've held up because nothing really seems that two-dimensional. Nothing really seems that three-dimensional or two-dimensional. So I'm actually going to have to give it the same grade it was back in 1994. It's stayed stable. I mean, in a lot of the picture, and there's a lot of pictures in here instead of 3D generated content like 3D Body Adventure and 3D Dinosaur Adventure had. So 10 out of 10. Alright, the overall and final grade of the game, considering everything, it was more or less an interactive movie than it was a book with lots of facts about how fast things can go, and all that other good stuff. It had fun Zoomscape activities. I would definitely give this game a 9 out of 10. I mean, it does what it does. I mean, the graphics aren't the best, but it's a fun game, and it was on my favorite disc, so I definitely played it a lot as a kid. Well, this is Rocky54167, and if you're lucky, the Space Adventure review will be up tonight instead of tomorrow. Rocky54167 signing out for now.